May you always find your way to higher ground. May you always keep your head held up high. Pretty little thing, you're a diamond in the rough, shining from within. I can tell that you're
Why are all
tough.
the women in the house working?
Just the sight of you
Everybody
when
is
I'm at
working
my
except me.
weakest point.
Did you get Q-tip?
Makes a world of difference, oh you make me strong. Pretty little thing, you're a diamond in the rough, shining from within. I can tell that you're tough. Ordering a cup of love, feel it rising up and above. You will always keep my heart and soul strong. Plant your seeds and watch them grow.